Hey Internet, welcome back to What's the Points? I'm Mike. I wanted to go over the changes that Alaska Airlines just announced to their mileage plan for next year, 2025. As someone who lives near an Alaska hub in San Francisco, what I've noticed is that it's a really great option for a lot of reasons. What I've been doing is working on American Airlines status because there's reciprocal status sharing between AA and Alaska. However, for next year, Alaska has announced changes to compete more directly with American, if that's how you want to look at it. But certainly it's an upgrade to their mileage plan. There's a lot of changes. And, I really actually recommend Frequent Miler did a great episode on this last week. Biggest highlight is the addition of earning elite qualifying miles by booking and flying award flights. Not only award flights, which is unusual, but partner award flights, which is, as far as I know, unique. And a lot of people are excited about this because as it stands, Alaska miles are already arguably the best or at least most valuable airline currency currently in the game. And in fact, to name drop another Frequent Miler episode, more recently, a few days ago, they did a Coffee Talk episode on which is the more valuable airline currency, American or Alaska. And they're pretty close. To come away with the conclusion of what they were talking about, though, right now, technically, AA is probably the more valuable currency overall in terms of availability and general pricing, particularly of international business class tickets. However, Alaska is not too far behind, and more to the point, AA is overdue for a devaluation, having not changed their award chart in several years, whereas Alaska only recently made changes to theirs. And per their logic, they don't think that, particularly with all these other changes going on, that they're likely to announce devaluation going forward. This is always all speculation. No one knows for sure. And, any of these programs can change with or without notice. But what I'm getting at here is just to take a step back is that airline loyalty programs, who do they serve? Who gets the most benefit from them? In my opinion, it's people who they don't have to pay for their own travel, or at least if they do, then it's part of a business that is, doing so much business that you can fly frequently enough to get top tier status on a particular airline. And among the typical benefits, the most highly sought after one is getting a complimentary upgrade to first class. And so for me, because I've been doing more domestic traveling lately, actually, this is really, I think, who benefits from this the most. I mean, there are international benefits. The one I hear about the most is having access to business and first class lounges, even when flying economy abroad. So that's cool. But I wonder if it's a little bit niche. I wouldn't go crazy chasing status just so that you can fly around the world on economy and have access to fancy lounges. I would rather put my energy, if I'm flying that much, into upgrading my experience on the plane. I could be a little biased because San Francisco, in my opinion, is one of the better airports for a lot of reasons. And I don't think you typically need lounge access. But even if you do, there's fairly good priority pass options, at least out of Terminal 1 for domestic departures. Ironically, there's a new The Club that just opened in Terminal 1 right next to the Alaska Lounge and pretty close to the AA Admiral's Lounge. And I was this close to being able to go in both of those, but I actually downgraded my AA executive card because I just couldn't stomach the $600 annual fee. And I'm debating whether to get it back again because I think if you're chasing AA status, depending on what that's worth to you, I think it could be worth it, particularly for the loyalty point boosts that you get from holding that card. So if you're like me and you travel domestically a fair amount, Not enough where it makes sense to chase status by flying. I'm looking at you, United. But more to the point, in an airport like mine, where United is kind of holds a monopoly, what many have observed is that it's nearly impossible actually to ever find any kind of status-based first-class upgrades flying out of SFO. By contrast, with the lesser served airlines, Delta and American and Alaska, it's easier. Now, I've only had the second tier, Platinum, on AA. I have a couple previous videos on earning status on Delta and American if you want to see a little bit more of my rationale for why I'm interested in this. But, so that's a little bit of background, I think, on what is the value proposition of earning airline status as a semi-frequently traveling domestic person, or if you want to earn a lot of miles by stacking points, by using shopping portals and so forth, then it's a good way to do it and sort of earn status along the way without having to open any more credit cards, and that's kind of nice. And and so far this year I've earned probably over 100,000 miles actually. Redeemable miles through AA using the shopping portal. And so really this is the biggest change. There's a lot of changes, but to highlight the two biggest changes that I see to the Alaska mileage plan for next year. One is now they're adding a lot more what they call non-airline ways of earning status. And so without ever having to step foot on a plane, you can click through their shopping portal and stack that on top of whatever rewards you're getting from your credit card. And perhaps even more, your credit card offers that you have associated with either Amex or Chase or Citi. I've found that most of the time, although sometimes there can be a conflict, it's read the terms and conditions of any offers that you're using through any shopping portal, any offer on your credit card. Spend some time and look at that and decide if it's worth your time to do all of this. But if you're like me, and if you're like Matt Clausen, our fellow creator who has a brilliant live series called Stacking Points, then you realize that this is a pretty powerful tool. And it's a way of earning valuable miles and perhaps status just through everyday spend, essentially. Things that you would be buying otherwise, in other words, which is really cool. And that way, you don't have to spend, like with Delta, you got to spend $28,000 in a year to earn their diamond status. You don't have to do anywhere near that much work, certainly near that much spend, if you take advantage of the best offers through the non-airline. And so for me right now, what I'm trying to decide is actually, do I want to switch my loyalty from AA to Alaska? The reason I would do that, some predictions that Alaska miles are going to hold their value better because of potentially a forthcoming devaluation in AA. AA hasn't changed their mileage chart in a while. And, at least Greg and Nick from Frequent Miler, they're predicting that AA will have a devaluation. So it's kind of making me think, all right, do I want to switch over to that now? Because maybe those miles will be worth more, and really, that should be your focus if you're putting all this time and energy into it, is not just whatever benefits you might get from status, but it's really earning those miles. The second level of AA status is Platinum, and that can be earned at 75,000 loyalty points. The second level of Alaska status is at 40,000 EQM, which might sound like less, but in reality, at least on the non-airline spend, you're only earning 1 EQM for every $3 of spend. So basically at 1/3 the rate of AA, where you get 1 loyalty point per dollar. So why is that significant? Because you could look at those numbers and say, well, 40,000 EQMs on Alaska is roughly equivalent to 120,000 loyalty points on AA. That just so happens to be exactly the threshold for the third tier of AA status, which is Platinum Pro. If you hold Platinum Pro, then you will get, at that third level, you will get upgrade priority over the second level Therefore, I might keep using the shopping portal a lot and the other ways of earning AA loyalty points for next year, because ultimately, I think that because it seems like it's relatively on the non-airline spend about the same amount of earning required loyalty earning, non-flying earning is roughly the same for the same amount of effort, as it were, same amount of spending and effort. You actually will get upgrade priority. The third tier of AA will get upgrade priority over the second tier of Alaska. So if you're like me and you find that to be the sweet spot, then I have a feeling that might be the better bet. The wild card here being, though, like what happens if there's a devaluation of AA miles? And now all of a sudden we see that Alaska miles continue to, to have more sweet spots. And, what a lot of people are predicting too is that this recent addition of the capability of transferring Amex membership rewards points to Alaska via the existing Hawaiian Airlines partnership, because of Hawaiian being acquired by Alaska, where most people seem to be predicting that that's going to be shut down. That'll go away at some point. I think there's a lot of good reasons to think that will happen. A lot of it has to do with bank exclusivity. I mean, typically you really only see one bank at a time able to do mileage transfers, and at least to have co-branded credit cards. And right now with Alaska, that's B of A. Once these loyalty programs are fully merged, which they're not yet, you can transfer points between the two of them, and it's a little clunky. You have to find a particular link that's kind of buried. I had to kind of search for it. Once you find it, it's easy to do. But to me, it's pretty clear that once these programs are merged, that something specifically called Hawaiian Airlines that will be a partner to transfer Amex MR rewards to seems unlikely, and it could go away tomorrow. So right now I'm debating. At first I had been thinking, well, do I wait till another transfer bonus? Right now, I don't even know if I want to wait to that. I'm honestly thinking of transferring half or more of my membership rewards points, and it's a pretty big speculative transfer, and I'm only doing it because I know I'm in an Alaska hub and will be able to spend those miles even if I'm not going to get crazy good value. So, in summary, I think that if you do put a significant premium on earning Alaska Air miles right now, then it could be worth. As long as you don't mind that it's generally going to be, unless you're flying a lot, it's going to be harder to reach a high enough level of status to have decent chances at upgrades. And it's something that I don't know if it's worth it. Usually chasing loyalty in most cases is not worth it. But I think that if you get really skillful and using these portals and non-flying ways of stacking points, it can be worth it. It certainly can be fun, if not a little complicated. But again, it's easier than having to open and close more credit cards. And some of these earn rates that you're getting when you can find a good deal, I think on an earning per dollar basis, match sign-up bonuses. So that's really cool. And it's something you can do just as purchase by purchase. You don't have this specific obligation to spend a large amount of money in a short period of time. So it allows you to just kind of, as things come up, you got a new refrigerator, you have some protein powder you want to order, meal delivery kits, who knows? There's always something. You can always find something, even gift cards, like giftcards.com, is a good way, because depending on what you find, those can be used for anything. And, just be careful about using gift cards on Amex, though. They don't seem to like that too much, at least for earning sign-up bonuses. So, be smart with your point stacking, and let me know. I'm curious what y'all out there are doing. Are any of you interested in status on either American or Alaska? What opinions do you have on these changes? And do you think they make earning status on Alaska perhaps a better overall bet? than American, even though you might have to do more work and spend more money in order to get an equivalent chance of upgrade. Let me know your thoughts below, and if this was helpful or useful to you at all, please like and subscribe, and have a great day. Take care.